Hi, everyone. It's Michelle. I felt like, I truly felt like God was telling me to get on and speak from my heart, which right now it's really a little hard in some ways. So, I'm do the main thing for right here, right now. I am doing so amazingly well. I can't believe how happy I am and how I feel, and to rebound from a heartbreak, that is something. Um Today I was down in there cutting some little trees, about just little bitty trees, but that was growing up to the screen porch that would be, I wouldn't be able to see out like I want to. So I've been cutting down there, and I tried to cut that tree down there, and I made a mistake trying to cut it with the dull chain on the chainsaw. So it went down, but not completely. But I have had the most amazing time working back out here. And you see a little trail down through there towards the woods, uh, right in the center, and how you can tell I've cut out a lot there, considering what's on the left of where I'm pointing. Because when it gets tall right in there where you see it bare, you gets to where you can't see out there to the mountains when you pull up in the car. So it's a really cool thing to be able to do this kind of work again, and I have to take it slow, but I can do it. And I don't know how many of y'all actually know where I've come from. How I got here. I'm gonna go real fast through where I've come in the last almost 11 years since I divorced my husband, been with him since I was 18 years old. And I left 11 years ago. I went into the domestic violence shelter because he was acting out abusive because he had alcohol dementia. So yeah, he's never acted ugly to me. So I went into the shelter to get away with that. And y'all are really it's gonna blow your minds when you read my book, to be able to read in the most amazing way that God gave me the ability to write it out. What I went, the highs and the lows of childhood and all throughout my marriage. And then the last 11 years has been amazing. And I wish people, I really wish my family would understand how, when people go through the most traumatic experiences where they just bury it so deeply and they numb their body to it like I was. It's unbelievable. But I want y'all to know I got here, and it's taken me a whole lot of work. I quit sitting back and waiting for God to bring me a miracle and a happy life, waiting for God. And so you're really gonna love reading my book, and we're fixing to start back editing it next month. And I truly think I'm going to get it out and published by the end of this year. Oh my God. Y'all, the book I wrote and published in 2018, titled To Hell and Back, is literally what I have gone through my whole life. And so God miraculously brought me through different stages the last 11 years. And I'm talking about hellish shit I've had to go through. And I was living down there at the bottom of that road, way down in a holler, the most beautiful rustic cabin with the most beautiful bubbly stream running alongside of it. And I felt like I was in heaven. But slowly but surely, my income started depleting and my heart began really, really messing up. And I've gone through, well, down there, I went through a heart ablation that was literally what I went through in that. It triggered to the most horrific, hellish darkness of my childhood. And God literally took me through that while I was in the hospital alone with no family. I had friends up here, but they have their lives up here, and it's a long ways down to Atlanta. So yeah. And my counselor said I was my soul had gone through an emotional rebirth. That's what she told me, and that's what I believe. So anyway, I didn't have the ability to do what I was doing to draw in income. I lost the half of my income. So I had met the woman at this cabin, y'all. I was fixing to be homeless. And y'all might think by all the beautiful pictures I post from up here, oh, wow, she's got it made. But you don't know what I went through to get here. And I had made through friends with this woman. And I asked her to let me live up here for 6 months. And I learned to train my thoughts, because that could have been, I could have ended up, in 6 months. If I let myself stay in fear, I would just be in a mess again. But I changed my thoughts. You can do that through meditations. Y'all, connecting to God through our Christ spark, this inside of us that we're born with. All we got to do is tap into that in our meditations, and we draw strength from our God. And He gives us the strength, because I turn my thoughts into happy thoughts. And I have friends that were supportive of me and helped me do that. And I met the most amazing man when I moved up here, and he was there with me as I wrote this novel that literally put me back in the hospital because of the darkness. I was going back into my soul to bring out what I had buried and hid, and it all came out, and it wasn't pretty. But I had Frank in Florida, but he was going through his own shit. And the cool thing is we understood that about each other, y'all. And so we were there for each other. And Frank didn't say a whole lot in my text, but oh my God, the last 5 years we have said some things, and I could just type out what I was going through, and even work out things between me and him. And we had this beautiful telepathy conversations every evening. We were connected. And I know there's so many people that don't understand that. And then God took him drastically, suddenly. I found out on Facebook he was dead. Y'all, how many people can handle a shock like that? That was hellish. But you know what? I was determined to get closer and closer to God. And y'all saw me all winter coming out here to that screen porch. No matter how cold it was, we can bundle up, y'all. We do things skiing, snow skiing, and also that's not an excuse that, oh, it's too cold. I had fun. I had fun going in that little screen porch every morning. And sometimes I cried to God. Sometimes I laughed and expressed my joy to God. I did my meditations. I did my devotions. And I got closer and closer to God. And the beautiful thing is I chose that. I could have made this go a whole different path, but it was my choice. And I had the most beautiful man, and I still have him. I still have him. We were sitting just now together in that screen porch, and we were talking together, and it was beautiful. And I am so thankful that I have that with Frank. And y'all, I love living by myself. That is what I've learned the last 5 years being up here writing my novel and going through the heart surgery and the shock of Frank dying on me. When we had this life planned out together. So yeah, it could have gone a whole different way, but it was my choice of how I was going to direct my thoughts and not let my thoughts just run wild, because that's what they do in most of our heads. And it's my faith in God that so many Christians want to say, oh no, you can't believe that and expect you're going to go to heaven. You're going to go to hell. And that's just ridiculous. Every spiritual person knows that. It's just crazy. So y'all, I'm having the most beautiful life. And Frank helped me get here, and he's still with me. So have a beautiful evening.